Hello and welcome back to my channel and welcome to a new video. So grab yourself a drink or a snack. It's going to be a very bookish video today. I don't think I've done a book video in forever. So hello, we're doing one. Okay, so I am going to be reviewing the books that I read during 2020. I set myself a challenge of 10 and I read 11. So that's a win. On my phone I've got an app called Goodreads. So when you download the app, you get to fill in like a very short questionnaire and it asks you like the type of books that you like to read, and then the homepage will show you books that either people that you follow on the Goodreads account have read and recommended, or just books that match your descriptions of what you like to read. If I go to my books, there we go. I've got the current book that I'm reading and I can track my progress. All I do is press update my progress and then I pop in the page and that will tell me how far through I am on the book. Then I've got all my books that I want to read, and as you can see I've got quite a few. I've also got track of all the books that I have read, and the good thing I like about Goodreads is once you've read the book it gives you an option to rate it out of 5 stars and for you to leave a review for other readers. Then I'm going to go to my profile page. If we go to past challenges and we go to 2020 reading challenge, you can see that I read 11 books last year, and these are the ones that we're going to be talking about today. So my first book I want to talk to you about, Holly Bourne's It Only Happens in the Movies. I absolutely love this book, and if you haven't read this book, this is the one that I'm gonna recommend for you to read, because honestly it gives you all the feels. I love the way Holly Bourne wrote this book. I think it was so well written. It was quite funny in places. It was really clear. There was like elements of drama, so it like pulled on your heartstrings in the right places, and I just think it was brilliant. Basically, the characters were brilliant. I love the heroine of Audrey and her personality and her views throughout the book. She's basically taking the mick and contradicting rom-coms, but the book ends up being a rom-com. I don't want to go on and on and on because I've got another 10 books to get through, but absolutely, hands down, my favourite read of 2020. Please go and find yourself a little yellow ray of sunshine book and just enjoy it. And if you do read it and you do enjoy it, please get back to me. Good book. The next book that I read is actually a series, and it is Mallory Blackman's Noughts and Crosses. Now, I discovered this when I was first at secondary school in my English class, and I remember reading it and going, whoa. I knew that I enjoyed reading before I started this book. Actually, I think this was the book that propelled me into the world of literature and my love of reading and my love of fiction especially. Noughts and Crosses does tackle very serious issues like racism and prejudice and love and survival. So it's not like a light fluffy read for your first sort of novel into the world of fiction, but it was such an important read for me. 2020 was the year that I went back to it and I read the full Noughts and Crosses series. So there's 4 books in total. The first one is Noughts and Crosses, the second one is Knife's Edge, the third one is Checkmate, and the fourth one is Double Cross. I think if you don't want to read the whole series, you don't have to. Noughts and Crosses is a standalone book, in my opinion. Oh, the sun's come out. Hello. On a whole, Mallory Blackman's writing throughout the whole series of Noughts and Crosses I absolutely loved. So the next book that I read in 2020 was a Huntley Fitzpatrick book, and it was The Boy Most Likely To. I've only ever seen 3 Huntley Fitzpatrick books. I read one before, I believe it was My Life Next Door. They're all standalone books as well. I just thought I'd point that out. These books to me are like summer romance books. They are a perfect summer read. The Boy Most Likely To is definitely one that once I closed I was like, I'm not going to read again. I did enjoy it at the time, but I wasn't that fussed about it afterwards. But like I say, My Life Next Door is one that I still remember, so definitely go and check that out. My next set of books that I read was, I don't want to butcher this author's name, so I'm just going to call her Maggie, the Shiver series. So the story essentially follows Grace, who lives in a little town called Mercy Falls, and they've got a werewolf pack that lives within the woods of this town. There's one wolf in particular that comes to visit her most nights, the wolf with the yellow eyes, aka Sam, and the whole story is basically about them falling in love. In the first book, it's about them trying to be together in a relationship, which is really cute, I might add. The second book, they're trying to basically cure Sam of his wolf genes, as well as the town decides that the pack shouldn't be there anymore. And in the third book, she gets really sick and ends up turning into a wolf. So it's then her story and written from her point of view of what being a wolf is like. It's just a very cheesy, typical love story. I enjoyed it. Moving on, then we've got one of my favourite people of all time, Carrie Hope Fletcher. She brought out a book which was a rewrite of Ballet Shoes, I believe, but her version is called Into the Spotlight. It was a heartwarming story. I love the premise of the whole book, and yes, it is a children's book, and you can tell from the writing and the language that she uses that it is meant for a younger audience, but I still really enjoyed it. And you'll be happy to know we are on my last book. My 11th book that I read for 2020 was a Christmas book, and it's called Second Chances at the Log Fire Cabin. I love the feeling that Christmas books give you, especially when you've got your Christmas tree lights on, you've got your candle going, you're in your fluffy socks and your Christmas PJs and you're wrapped up reading a book. Oh! Doesn't that just sound perfect to you? I liked the characters in it, apart from one character. I really didn't like one character. I loved the setting. The setting of this book was magical. Of course, a log fire cabin is magical to me anyway, and I'd really love to go to one day. It made me feel like I was actually there, which I love that in books. I love the fact that when you read a book, you're so invested in the way that it's been written and the descriptive language and the story and the characters and the stylistic rhythm that the book has, that you actually feel like you're there. Those are the best type of books. However, there was a few problems in this book. The book follows Roxy and Jackson's story. Now, Roxy is very in love with Jackson, so much so that she proposes to him on live TV, and he rejects her. So she decides that she doesn't want to be alone for Christmas. She stumbles across a new opportunity for her to take over Christmas to become a baking assistant slash cook. Which is quite funny considering she can't actually bake or cook very well. Fate has it that they end up in the same place at the same time because he arrives to stay there for the Christmas break with his new girlfriend. I do not understand why Roxy is so hung up. She's so obsessed with her feelings for Jackson that when this new guy Alex comes into her life and they have serious sexual chemistry, she keeps denying herself the happiness that she could find with Alex because she thinks that there might be like a 2% chance that Jackson will want to be with her again. Why are you hung up on this guy and not taking the opportunity to be with the hunk from Australia who's beautiful and is a surfer and a doctor? And I mentioned he was beautiful. I mean, he was physically pretty, but I'm talking more about personality. He was just so kind, so caring. It all comes to a head and she decides that she's gonna finally do something for herself and she's gonna go and confront Jackson and stick it to him. And I was like, yes girl, I've waited like 27 chapters for you to finally tell him to sling his hook. She goes to his room to deal with this situation and then just stands there like an idiot. She goes and she says a little bit and then just stands there and nods. She just nods and walks away. That was my problem with the book. Oh my god, can you tell that I really get invested in these books when I read them? So anyway, on a whole, I did enjoy that book. That has been my book reviews for 2020. So if you do have any recommendations, please let me know. Also, if you have read any of these books that I have listed in this video, then let me know what you think of them. I hope I didn't rattle on for too long. Sorry if I did, but I just love talking about books. I just love talking in general. But thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a big thumbs up. If you aren't subscribed and you want to subscribe to my channel, then hit that button. Much love. Bye.